Hey, it's nice to have you back here in this new video. Today, we're gonna give you a deep dive into side-by-side comparison in between this Insta360 X3 versus the GoPro Hero 11 Black, the brand new action camera designed by GoPro, while Insta360 X3 is definitely a hybrid 360 action camera. So we just want to know which camera is better for you in your everyday life. First, let's talk about the price. For the GoPro Hero 11 Black, the price goes up to $549, while for the Insta360 X3, it could capture 360 in action camera at the same time, and the price is $449. So to make side-by-side comparison, this GoPro Hero 11 Black is 22% more expensive compared with the Insta360 X3. And yes, indeed, you got a better spec, better performance on this GoPro Hero 11 Black in your action camera scenarios. But you should notice that this is an action camera for the field of view. Even though the 11 Black equipped with the HyperView and the new imaging sensor, the field of view is fixed on this imaging sensor. So it is an action camera with superb spec sheet. Insta360 X3 is capable to capture 5.7K in 360 degrees. So there's no blind spot in your post-process. So you can reframe whatever you want. And for the X3, one of the features I love about X3 is the single lens shooting mode. For the single lens shooting, you could capture up to 4K 30 and even 3.6K and 60 FPS. That is also compatible compared with the GoPro Hero camera series. That once equipped with flow state stabilization, especially in the 4K single lens mode, the flow state stabilization is calculated in real time. So in the 4K single lens shooting mode, the X3 could deliver an equivalent result compared with the Hero 11 Black. And that is to say, for the Insta360 X3, not only you have a 360 camera, an action camera, two cameras in one, but it is still 20% cheaper compared with the GoPro Hero 11 Black. You know, 360 camera was famous for the invisible selfie stick. So how is that possible? That is to say, with 360 camera, you capture the 360 content from front and rear lenses, and once you have mounted the camera aligned with invisible selfie stick, you know, the selfie stick locates just in the blind area of the 360 camera. That is to say, once you are shooting yourself with a selfie stick like this, the selfie stick becomes invisible in your final shot. So this is how you can physically hide the selfie stick in your final shot. This is the only way you could get rid of your selfie stick in your content creation. That is where 360 camera really rivals that of traditional action cameras. Okay, I'm now recording with 5.7K 25 FPS invisible selfie stick. Invisible selfie stick, as you might have noticed. Selfie stick locates just in the blind spot. So when I'm holding the 360 camera like this, the invisible selfie stick will be gone in the final shot. Just wipe out the stick at the bottom of my hand. This is how you can use with the 360 camera, the selfie stick, line them like this. The result is pretty stunning. But things got quite different on the action camera like GoPro Hero 11 Black. If I want to make a selfie vlog with the fixed FOV on the 11 Black, either I have to extend my arm like this and vlog myself just like this, or if I want to vlog while walking, just cannot capture the face. I have to tilt the camera like this. Well, I end up with a selfie stick. You know, I end up with a selfie stick in the final shot. So this is something that is quite weird on the action camera like GoPro Hero 11 Black. Do you see that? Because you can, as you can see, you can always see the selfie stick at the bottom of the camera. I'm now shooting with 16:9, but once I'm shooting with 8:7 or 4:3, things got even worse. The selfie stick it might come across with you when you shot at 8x7 with full frame, full sensor readout for the GoPro Hero 11 Black. As you might notice, now sitting in the middle of the frame, but with this giant selfie stick in the middle of my frame. So that is the reason why the GoPro has invented a three-way selfie stick to try to eliminate the invisible selfie stick in the post-process. But you should notice that the three-way selfie stick is way more expensive compared with the invisible selfie stick, and it is not that stable compared with its simple and elegant design. So this is where 360 camera really shines. It really rivals that of the action camera like the GoPro Hero 11 Black. Another exciting feature for the X3 is a me mode. Because with the me mode, you capture every lower half imaging sensor straight out towards yourself. So once you are blocking yourself with a selfie stick, you get yourself without selfie stick, and you get every result with flow state stabilization. Yes, I know that some of you might argue that with 360 camera you have to reframe, you have to export in the post-process workflow. That makes the 360 camera a little bit more complicated compared with an action camera like 11 Black. But on the X3, the engineer comes up with an exciting new solution called me mode. Because in the me mode, as you might notice, if you place your selfie stick camera level for the best result, the camera will automatically read out the lower half of the two imaging sensors and automatically wipe out the selfie stick, and that is to say, give you invisible selfie stick blocking result straight out from the camera. Coming next, I will show you the magic of me mode. Okay, now give a test shot of me mode. Check it out. I'm now shooting with the Insta360 X3, the brand new me mode, at the end of my invisible selfie stick. Because in the me mode, you get up to 60 frames per second battery smooth video straight out from camera with invisible selfie stick. Actually, the selfie stick locates in between the stitching area, but with the brand new me mode, you get amazing quality straight out from the camera. This is where the workflow has been almost as easy as the GoPro Hero 11 Black. And hit on export, you get a 60 FPS battery smooth video. It's just like you have reframe from 5.7K video. And that is exactly where the 360 cameras really shines. And this is one of the things that is very clever from the Insta360 engineer. That is to say, with the X3, if you want to get the invisible selfie stick effect, now you don't even have to reframe in post. So next one, let's talk about this high dynamic range shooting scenarios. For the GoPro Hero 11 Black, I really love the photo feature, which GoPro call it the super photo. So super photo could automatically detect the dynamic range and automatically capture in HDR and deghost inside the GP2 processor. But the imaging sensor doesn't support sensor level HDR, and that is to say, once you exceed your dynamic range, it is impossible to bring all detail back. And for the Insta360 X3, it's equipped with dual IMX586 imaging sensor. So this imaging sensor has been validated from a series of Android flagship model phones and has been jam-packed with a lot of cutting-edge imaging technology. And that is where the active HDR shooting is possible for the wireless with 4K boost, just like this one. And for the Insta360 X3, finally we have a 5.7K at 30 FPS in real-time active HDR. That is where you can shot in action camera scenarios while still bring back all the details. At the same time, you also get the perfect flow state stabilization. The 360 camera that rivals the action camera in the super high contrast scenarios. So we're gonna test out the active HDR on the X3 versus the GoPro Hero 11 Black with non-HDR shooting mode. Which one of the camera has the better dynamic range? Let's find out. And don't ever forget that the 360 camera can be reframed into a different perspective. Here's the same footage in Active HDR. When adding reframing the keyframes and regenerate footage in the studio or app, you can actually unlock a much better content from the same perspective. Now we are going to challenge this action camera in super high contrast ratios. Just want to find out which one of the camera has the better dynamic range in such high dynamic range scenarios. Okay, here is the shot when we shot with X3 with Active HDR mode, while on the other side, this is the GoPro Hero 11 Black with non-HDR shooting. So the X3 will capture 5.7K, while the Hero 11 Black capture at 5.3K. So this is a huge dynamic range. Just wondering which one has better performance in such challenging scenarios. Now we can even place the camera on the back of the trees. Just want to show you which one of the camera has better dynamic range. Let's find out. Now let's talk about the time-lapse capability for these two cameras. For the GoPro Hero 11 Black, I think it just delivers wonderful shooting mode for the time-lapse video, because in the latest GoPro Hero 11 Black, you get a star lapse preset, and you also get a light paint right inside this GP2 imaging sensor. That makes the time-lapse video much more interesting and much more responsive, more user-friendly compared to its predecessors. The resolution is limited to 5.3K because the imaging sensor only capture 5.3K, and needless to say, if you want to export in 16:9 or 9:16, you have to crop in post, which you only end up with around a 5K resolution. But for the Insta360 X3, not only you get a star lapse preset, but it also could generate 8K time-lapse video directly from the studio software. That is because for the Insta360 X3, if you full sensor read out the two imaging sensors, you get up to 72 megapixels. If you downsample this 72 megapixel into 8K resolution, you get a really crystal clear and sharp image with premium imaging quality. With 8K time-lapse in 360, once you reframe the 8K in post in Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro, you get a moving angle of around 5.3K if you have chosen a wide field of view. That is to say, with the X3, you get a 5.3K time-lapse with reframe possibilities, and while for the GoPro Hero 11 Black, you get a fixed field of view 5.3K time-lapse. This is the place where I made a time-lapse comparison in between the 11 Black and the Insta360 X3. Just look at how beautiful it is. I placed my two cameras on the other side of this tree, so to capture all the 360 content with the point of interest all around the camera. For the 11 Black, the only perspective you could capture is only a part of this scenario, but for the X3, things got a lot more interesting. You can reframe a 5K resolution time-lapse video directly from the 8K time-lapse. Here is a side-by-side comparison on the time-lapse video in between the Hero 11 Black and the Insta360 X3. So both cameras have similar perspective, but the one thing I have noticed that when you turn on time-lapse on Hero 11 Black, the widest field of view will be limited to wide, so you can never get super view or HyperView anymore. So this is quite limited for the GoPro Hero 11 to capture a super wide time-lapse video. While on the X3, since you have captured all 360 content, you can reframe to whatever you want. That is to say, with exactly the same time-lapse footage, the Hero 11 Black has a narrower field of view and a little bit more distortion in this field of view. While on the X3, you can always add keyframes, so reframe a 5K resolution video directly from the 8K footage. That gives you much better experience. And needless to say, when you capture with 360 time lapse, you can capture the amazing light behind the camera, which can never be done on the GoPro Hero 11 Black. Next one, let's talk about the field of view. Because with a new imaging sensor for the GoPro Hero 11 Black, now we have a brand new the HyperView mode. The HyperView is a new digital lens in combination for the new sensor and the GP2 processor. While in the HyperView, you get a widest field of view ever on the GoPro with around 141 degrees. That is pretty insane for the GoPro action camera with a single lens in this such form factor. And with the GoPro Hero 11, you can also mount the max lens mode to get up to 155 degrees field of view. That is so-called the max HyperView. But things got quite interesting on the X3, because on the X3 in the 4K single lens mode, you get up to 117 degrees the wide angle in the MaxView mode. That is to say, you get a full sensor readout, a full imaging circle, an export, stabilizing pose. You get amazingly 117 degrees. That is superb. And even shot in the 170 degrees video, you also get a perfect horizon leveling and the flow state stabilization. But if 170 degrees is way too wide for you, you can capture directly in 4K or 3.6K. You can narrow down the field of view while still maintain a very high imaging quality. Okay, I'm now shooting with X3 on a MaxView, 2.7K to 50 FPS. While on the GoPro Hero 11 Black, I change the FOV to HyperView, which is 12mm equivalent, and the Max SuperView. It looks like the GoPro Hero 11 Black tends to capture around 140 degrees, the widest field of view ever happened on the GoPro Hero cameras. While on X3, I'm now shooting with the MaxView. I mean, on the MaxView, I could literally get 170 degrees because it's a full frame fisheye imaging, full sensor without the cropping pose. It looks just like a flexible model Insta360 Go 2, but now with half-inch image sensor and double the frame rate. And don't forget, on X3 you have two single lenses, the front and rear lenses. On the GoPro Hero 11 Black, you only have a single lens towards yourself. So when you want to capture something behind your camera, you got to rotate and hit record again. But on the X3, you can switch back between the front and rear lenses. Here is a basic side-by-side comparison between the Hero 11 HyperView versus the X3 ultra-wide, wide, and the brand new MaxView when you enable FOV Plus in a 4K single lens shooting mode. It is pretty insane. The widest field of view ever happened on action camera history. Okay, coming next, let's talk about the 360 horizon leveling. Considering the Hero 11 Black now equipped with 8x7 image sensor, is almost like a square image sensor. Now the horizon leveling feature for the 11 Black is way much better compared with the GoPro Hero 10. But things got even better on the 360 camera, because with X3 you get a 360 degrees field of view, and you can apply the horizon leveling whatever you want, and you can even lock the horizon line. No matter how you rotate the camera, the horizon is locked in post. And that is to say, the Insta360 X3 not just perform the horizon leveling, but it just takes the horizon leveling to the next level, because you can lock the horizon no matter in post, and you can move and rotate in any direction, which give you full potential in the content creation and the mounting accessories. Okay, here is another comparison on the horizon leveling in between the X3 and the GoPro Hero 11 Black. On the GoPro Hero 11 Black, there's a new mode called Auto Boost. Auto Boost automatically detect the horizon and fix in the frame, and automatically detect the digital cropping in the image circle. So to speak, on the Hero 11 Black, you can lock the horizon and lock the horizon straight out in the camera. But things got quite interesting on X3, because with X3, you can lock whatever you want. I mean, not just horizon line, but you can lock the vertical line, lock the slant orientation, whatever you want. Because you have 360 content, you can lock, you can perform the full flow state stabilization and lock to whatever you want in the pose. And needless to say, with Active HDR, you get more detail in the sky and you get more content to play around in the post-production, in the studio or the app. Okay, here's another test for the horizon leveling on the 11 black and the X3. Now I'm shooting with 11 black on the auto boost. Let's check it out. Well, how I can rotate the camera, whether the 11 black could lock the horizon. And check out the X3 on the other side. Maybe things got quite different. It's the 11 black and the X3. Well, you can definitely lock by tilting the horizon line whatever you want with auto boost. One thing that Insta360 has rivals other competitors is the workflow and its software ecosystem. For the Insta360 app, you get tons of AI shot lab and the template. You know, with X3, not just about X3, but with 1RS or 1X2, you get dozens of templates you can choose from and generate some viral video on the social media, such as the sky swappable and the nose cone, and some other template where you can literally figure out on your Insta360 app in the AI shot lab, push the boundary of 360 content creation to the next level, and that is where it is still absent on the GoPro Hero 11 this ecosystem. And definitely check out this Insta360 X3 with the sky swap, the nose mode, or even the newly added the Streamlapse. The Streamlapse will definitely blow your mind away. Definitely check this out. So that is to say, for the Insta360 camera series, you get AI-powered editing, exporting suite. And for the GoPro Hero 11, where you get a limited AI-powered workflow. So Insta360, the company, is known for their constant firmware upgrade. So these firmware upgrade not just fix some critical issues, but they have keep adding new features. They're adding more and more new features. They listen to the customers' feedback and they try to re-evaluate and they add all of the features in the firmware upgrade. And that sometimes with some huge firmware upgrade, you even get a new camera experience from inside out. Even though the X3 is a great camera, but it can be even a lot better with additional new features. For example, you can check out my previous video explaining to you the latest firmware upgrade on the Insta360 cameras. For the Snappy Wizard. The Snappy Wizard is an exciting new feature that adding to the X2 that you can directly export your 360 footage without exporting. This is quite stunning with the new software upgrade. A constant update AI shot lab, the multi-view, the freeze frame, and all of the firmware upgrade for the firmware, the software, the studio, all these updates are free of charge. And another little secret about the Insta360 app is once you have hit record on your camera, you can still live preview in real time. That is where a feature that is still missing on the GoPro and Quick software as a remote control for the GoPro Hero 11 Black. So this is where sometimes this little detail in the software ecosystem that really drives me crazy. From my own experience on the GoPro Hero camera series, you know, I have been a GoPro user since the GoPro Hero 6. I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and this the latest 11. So the GoPro cameras remains pretty much the same once on the initial launch event, and sometimes they will fix some critical issues. Seldom did they add some new features. GoPro is still learning from Insta360 by adding the GoPro Lab features. I think some of you might have already experienced in the GoPro Hero 9 and 10. Last but not least, let's talk about accessories. The accessories are very important for the action camera and the 360 camera, because for the X3 you get this bullet time cord. Bullet time effect is one of the stuff that you can only get with 360 cameras. You can never get such effect with the GoPro Hero 11. And the lens cap for the 360 cameras, they are very cost effective. And the invisible selfie stick, the carry case, for even the metal frame, the microphone adapter, the microphone ecosystem for the X3. So all these accessories are quite cheap. They are a lot cheaper compared with the GoPro, and these are also very important for our customers once you want to push the boundary to make your existing camera more accessible in your everyday life. So that is where you also should consider not just about the price of the camera body, but the price you have been paid into your workflow, into your own experience. So that is camera body plus your desired accessories. So for the accessories for the Insta360 camera, you could save a lot more money as well. And that is all about the side-by-side comparison in between the Insta360 X3 versus the GoPro Hero 11 Black. The both cameras are great, but for the everyday content creators, for everyday camera users, I still prefer the Insta360 X3 in my everyday life. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to thumb up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Talk to you soon. See you next time. Bye.